In regards to the 99th Dan Hammy, my current idea is to basically turn the 12-second video, to reduce the 12-second rapper offline video I made down to its base components, the animations that I can't recreate on Vyond Studio. In order to try to make the animations as smooth as possible, when I record them with Bandicam. In my American Political Thought class, we went over the today's reading, a summary view of the rights of, I think it was the colonists of British America, something along those lines. And this was written about 2 years before the Declaration of Independence by Thomas Jefferson. And the difficulty with Jefferson today is that while it can't be denied that the words he wrote were good and helped in leading to the present day, many of his actions were pretty bad. Such as the fact that he was a lifelong slave owner. And a pretty cruel one at that, from what I heard. My professor in particular said that Thomas Jefferson was a contradiction. He advocated for small government, but then doubled the size of the United States with the Louisiana Purchase, and then there was the Lewis and Clark expedition. That phrase brought back, it gave a high school vibe. High school social studies. Though I think that vibe was pretty brief. We won't be meeting in class on Friday, which I believe is April 2nd. I've been trying to do Clan convoys, but lately they all seem to fill up before I can join them. I reached level 29 on Vast Wars. I think it may be approaching the time of completing the last task for that game. Now, the thing is, GameHag offers very few soul gems for that game. I now own the best clothes from the shopping mall. And the thing is, what's to do next? It's to create a race challenge, but I might want to get a better car before I do that. Or I may decide that completing a task for diamonds is worth giving up $1,000 in the game. Or something like that. It just comes down to what I'll decide. It would probably be better for me to add the audio for DH99X, which is the work in progress name for my attempt at recreating the 12-second clip I made on Rapper Offline and recreating it on Beyond Studio. I decided to recreate on Beyond Studio because, for me at least, the preview seems to be too laggy for my taste. But I have managed to recreate the 12-second clip on Beyond Studio, with it only missing the animations, because again, as of yet, I have not ever created any audio. After getting lunch, following my American Political Thought class, I ended up falling asleep on the bare mattress again between after eating lunch and going for dinner. Even though at this point I've already done a conversation and I opted to have the same conversation partner as the first time, there's still some nervousness with the 50-second conversation. I'm pretty sure there's some preparation I should do for the conversation to ensure it goes more smoothly. I also need to need to complete my grammar journal entries for Chapter 9 in Intermediate Spanish, as well as send some additional information on my answers to the Week 2 assignment. Yesterday, starting at about 9 or so, I watched the first presidential debate live on ABC, and it was basically a train wreck. Worse than the 2016 presidential debate, because I think, at least with the 2016 presidential debate, you could say it was a debate. But as for the 2020 presidential debate, I don't recall much discussion on the issues. The incumbent constantly interrupted Joe Biden, the Democratic nominee. I plan on voting for Biden. Just have to make sure that I'm registered. It would probably be safer to do a mail-in ballot given the current circumstances, but if I have to, an in-person ballot is fine too. I'll just have to make sure to wear a mask and to keep my hands sanitized. And to practice social distancing. In regards to Elvenar, I'm going to have to beat a province through a series of battles because I'm approaching the end of the second era of technology researches, and in order to unlock the Era 3 research, I need to have at least 25 provinces. So far, I only have 24. Right now, the only real interest I have in Arcane Showdown is to basically collect the daily chest rewards. The daily rewards on the scrolls. Although, sometimes there's just one scroll going on at a time. For there to be a second one, I basically have to wait until I get one that only costs one gem to purchase, or something along those lines. I have this silverware right here. I'm not entirely sure where to start in regard to the audio, but I think I can come up with some ideas. It's basically similar to the scenes leading up to that 12-second clip, only more intense. There's some more work I'm going to need to do. Today in particular was generally regarded as a cool and rainy day. It was cool and cloudy as I walked to the Union to go to my American Political Thought class. And as I walked, I think if I recall correctly, as I walked back to my dorm room at least to get my lunch, it rained pretty lightly, I think. I found an old game theory video from 2011, and I can say it was a different time then. A million years is not much time in the grand scheme of things, but for us, 9 years is a lot of time. The oldest Dan Hammond episodes are from 2013. Then you have the ones that were made in 2015, although there were ones made in 2014 too. Prior to getting dinner, I had kind of filled up a bit on a bottle of Splash water that was made by the Nestle company. If I recall, I've heard some bad things about that company. Something in regards to water, though I'm not entirely sure, since it's been a while since I saw those kind of reports. My dad's been getting the Splash Water instead of the Propel lately. Although the Splash Water isn't as healthy as the Propel, because the Propel has vitamins in it, if I recall. I'm not sure if I saw that within the Splash bottled water. The Splash water has flavoring in it that's supposed to give it a berry taste, which it does. As I was walking in for my American Political Thought class, I made a brief stop at the Galley mailroom to check if I had any packages to pick up. And Junior said that I probably didn't, and when I said that, I didn't get an email from them. You now actually have 2 weeks to pick up any packages that arrive, or else I think it gets sent back, something like that, if I recall. And also, Harrison got their ice cream machine back. There's a possibility I could get an ice cream novelty treat back from Harrison in time before it melts. Given how we've transitioned into the fall. The first day of fall was on either the 21st or the 23rd. I believe it depends on the year. Everything's currently half off. I buy spell manuals whenever they appear. And the clan convoys are good for the possibility of getting around 50 spell manuals at once. They're used to unlock and obtain these sort of special abilities. I'm not entirely sure what the sergeant would do, but it's probably not as good as the flashbang skill in any sort of way. Though we'll have to see. Maybe new skills will be introduced in the future, or maybe skills will be introduced for the special units you find in the Academy of Officers. It's taken over a year for me to get as far as I have in this game. I started playing it because it had badges. I wanted to get the easy badge and the medium badge.